Shalom, and welcome to another installment of Elders of GMS, giving all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We're just going to go into the topic that we went into last week. We're going to entitle it GMS News And Prophecies. Today's date is April 20th, 2013. So 4/20/2013. And we're just going to go right into it. As you all know, they had the big terrorist attack a couple of days ago. And they finally so-called apprehended. They killed one and they captured the other one. These guys were supposed to be Chechens. And they were so-called terrorists that fought against the former USSR, the Russian Republic or whatever. So they moved over here. Some of them moved over here. So they tagged it on these guys, based upon the fact that they saw a video with two guys walking with backpacks, and there was a bunch of people walking around with backpacks, but they didn't show that they put the backpacks on the floor and those same backpacks blew up. So we don't know what's happening. The media, the news media, is going around saying that like one stupid airhead news media bitch, she said, "How can those guys allegedly do that?" What the fuck? What is that? An oxymoron? Is that considered what do you mean allegedly do it? Either he did it or he didn't do it. Allegedly mean that somebody claims that they saw him do it. And then see, the main thing what I looked at was, you got guys like Alex Jones saying it was an inside job, but he was the one that stirred all that shit up, man. Because they be watching Alex Jones. Yeah. Alex Jones had Dan Badandi. They got a joke for that guy when they release him. They say, okay, we're gonna release the Kraken. Now I heard Alex say that, and basically he went to one of the press conferences because they got press passes and all that, and he basically cursed them out. He said, well, wait a minute, that sounds like a inside job. That sounds like a false flag. And they said, look, we got it here. Next question, you know? So basically, Alex Jones jumped on it like a horny man on a fine-ass prostitute. I mean, he jumped on that thing and he rode it. He rode the hell out of it, man. And they had to keep changing the story, right? So now we're at this point where at first they said, oh, it was a dark-skinned Arab man. It was John King, that knucklehead from CNN, that said, oh, yeah, according to the information we got, is a dark-skinned Arab, dark-skinned man. Now that could either be a black man or an Arab man. So they so-called apprehended for questioning this guy that they found out was from Saudi Arabia. And basically, he was supposed to be in a hospital, whatever the case. The story kept changing. Anyway, I think it was Barack Obama that let him get on the plane to go back to Saudi Arabia. All right? So if he was a suspect, how they going to get him back? They're going to have a hard time getting that guy back. So that story was thrown out. They had to go to plan B. So it came down to these two guys, which when they saw them with the backpacks, they looked like regular crackers from America. Yeah. But then it was found out that they were from the former Soviet Union or whatever, the Chechens. I can't even say that word. But so they were saying that these guys did it. There was a big shootout, and they killed one brother. Then they were on the run for the 19-year-old. And they were throwing grenades at him. Oh, they said the older brother was in the car, and they were chasing him, and he was throwing grenades like it was a goddamn 007 movie, you know? Which I said, this shit stinks to high heaven, man. I said, this shit sounds like they're making it up as they go along.
They said they robbed a 7-Eleven.
You know, how you going to commit a terrorist attack and go rob a 7-Eleven? Yeah. And then and why would you commit a terrorist attack and stick around? You don't stick around because it took, 4 days? What was it? When was the marathon? Monday or Tuesday? Monday. Okay, so it took, 3-4 days for them to capture them, and they sticking around robbing liquor stores and 7-Elevens, man, and hanging out in college.
They had to finance. I guess they had to finance their movement.
Oh boy, they wanted to buy a whole lot of Slurpees, man. That's what they wanted to do. But anyway, first of all, if that was a plan of a mastermind, they would have been on the plane out of the country. Like I said, we don't know what happened. We don't know if they did it. We don't know if they didn't do it. I'm not concerned about that. That's between them. All right? But anyway, we got GMS camps all over the place. We got, I guess we ain't going to do it this week. We got brothers from Boston, the Boston area, that they know the real deal. We can get on the phone and call them right now. We got brothers up there in Niagara Falls that emergency went all the way up there. I said, what in the hell is that emergency going all the way up there for? Then it even came, it came down in New York where they were stopping certain trains from coming down in New York that was leaving Boston. Then they even shut down part of Connecticut. Because we got brothers that live up in Connecticut and work up there, man. So I'm saying, and what they mainly did was, what was that, Watertown? And I think at one point, all of Boston, they said everybody just stay in your houses. 1 million people stay in your houses. So that was martial law right there, man. That was called a state of emergency. And then what they did was they had went into people's houses. There was this one white woman, Becky. You know, Becky, that represent all them white women, middle class white women and shit. Well, Becky got a knock on the door at 3 a.m. It was on CNN, and she's telling the story with a big smile on her face. And she said, well, I opened up the door, and they pulled guns out on me. And I pulled it open, so I didn't want them to kick the door in. And they went, and they rummaged all into my house, and then they left. I said, well, first of all, this is supposed to be America, right? Yeah. Aren't we supposed to be under the Constitution? That's right. Isn't that in violation of the Fourth Amendment? They just locked down 1 million people, 1 million plus people, and said stay in your houses. If you go out your houses, you're subject to being arrested, man. Look at that. Now they did that to set a precedent so they can do that more. It's going to happen again. It's only a matter of time when they do it again. When they go to some other place in this country, in this fine land of ours, and do it, and then it's going to become the norm. There's a word called normacy bias. Normacy bias. Look that word up. Normacy bias. And that's what they're doing. They're getting the people to get into their minds that this is normal. This just happened. It was a terrorist. We got to lock you guys down. If you go out your house, we're going to arrest you. They're getting them used to it, man. And this, I believe, is going to lead to the chip as well, which is the mark of the beast. And when they bring that out, when they roll that mark of the beast, the chip out, the microchip technology out for people to take it, a lot of people are going to be looking forward to taking it. When you run into these people in America, you find out how stupid and zombified these people are, man. All right, go ahead, read that, Ak.
This is from Wikipedia, normalcy bias. The normalcy bias or normality bias refers to a mental state people enter when facing a disaster. It causes people to underestimate both the possibility of a disaster occurring and its possible effects. This often results in situations where people fail to adequately prepare for a disaster, and on a larger scale, the failure of governments to include the populace in its disaster preparations. The assumption that is made in the case of the normalcy bias is that since a disaster never has to occur or never has occurred, then it never will occur. It also results in
because they've been saying for years, and this is right after the gun legislation that failed in the Senate and the House about taking away citizens' guns or causing this background check causing them to go through this gun owners background check. Well, basically, the for the most part, Republicans and the NRA, they're against it because they're saying that the